Hey guys, what's up? Eli back on the podcast again. This time my dad is not sick, but he's here with me right now. Okay, please don't do that. Please stop. What do you want me to
I thought
say?
you were going to do the intro.
That was the intro. What do you want me to say?
Legacy Farms Coffee 200 on Facebook.
Legacy Farms, I think it was 2010. On
Legacy
Instagram,
Farms Coffee 2010
on Instagram.
the
and,
Instagram.
and Legacy Farms Coffee on YouTube.
We've got to be able to find us somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or legacyfarmscoffee.com. That's our website.
And I believe we just released 2 new coffees onto the website.
Well, I did a blend. I kept asking my wife to come up with something, and I think she's nervous about putting her name on something. And a lot of people are that way. A lot of people don't offer me coffee because they think I'm this super coffee snob, and I'm really not. So I've been bringing different coffees in. I make that my job to make sure she has coffee in the house. And so for a couple of days, I've been bringing in different coffees. And so finally, she made a comment on one of them. And it was a blend of a little bit of Lempira Peaberry and had honey processed Marciesa and a washed Perinema. And she made a comment that she really liked it. So I came up with a name. Her real name is Julia Jo Williams now. And so her last name is spelled J-O. So we're calling it Julia's Joe or something like that. If anybody has a better name, they can pop in and we'll go with that. But Julia's Cup of Joe or something we might end up going with. I haven't thought about it a lot, but I did bag up some of it tonight, put it on the shelf. So we're going to see. I really should do a contest to let you guys help us name a few things.
Yeah, we could do some kind of like New Year's contest. Winner gets to name like a coffee or something.
Or Eli. Let's think of a new name for Eli.
No.
LeVar. I'm going with LeVar. I think he looks like a LeVar.
What coffee are you drinking?
I am drinking currently what is called Julia's Joe.
It is that one? Okay.
That's the one I've got now. And I brought it into the house with to Mommy tonight. It's one of those little jars, has a seal on it. But I put a sticker on it, and it's the new sticker I made with the cupping notes, which the cupping notes are pretty basic. It is chocolate with caramel notes and a hint of fruit. Those are the cupping notes on it.
Sounds pretty good.
And that's from the little bit of fruit comes from the Lempira Peaberry that I put in because it's a honey process. And then both the Perinema and the Marciesa both have caramel and nutty, a little bit of a nutty finish. But for you guys that are watching, if you want to jump on and just say that you're online, just pop your name on there. If you got a question, shoot it to us. But we do have that new blend that's offered online, and that's the roasted side. Because you guys that roast, you can just buy those coffees, and I'll tell you what the portions are if you want to try it. The new coffee that we have roasted, and I'll probably go ahead and put it online, but it'll be very, very limited. I only have about 50 pounds maybe combined of honey, natural, and washed. There's 3 different coffees, but it's a variety called Sargie Moore. You can just touch that also and hit that X too, so it doesn't. Oh, there you go. Not quick enough. All right, sorry guys, we're gonna have to.
What's that?
I think you guys probably left a DVD in the thing.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live. They can still hear us.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, somebody left a DVD in the computer. I just got a new computer, or new to me, and we're figuring out some of the quirks. But there's a CD in the drive, so it started loading. But tell us who you are if you got any questions. But the new coffee is going to be Sargie Moore. Right now, I've got a honey process that's roasted that'll be online hopefully tomorrow. But if you guys want to do, just touch it with your finger. If you guys want to order some of it green, you can let me know, and I'll make up some combo packs for the roasters, and I'll get you a pound of the honey, a pound of the wash, and a pound of the natural. Or I can do a little more than that. But if you want to try 3 coffees, and I've also right now got a Lempira that if you wanted to, we're switching over to lot 15 this week. That's going to be the wash Lempira. So if you wanted to order some lot 15, lot 26, and lot 30, you would get a Lempira variety in a washed, in a honey, and a natural. I don't think I have the Ika 2. I've got natural right now, and I'm going to dig out another bag of a different type of natural and start and put that on. So there will be a couple of options there. But I am heading out on the 2nd. I'm going to head to the farm. So I think that's a Tuesday. So Wednesday night, I guess the next Wednesday. Wow, yeah, I'm shipping out. The next Wednesday's podcast will be on the back porch, something like that. It might be dark, but
Wednesday you leave, I can do a podcast or something.
Or if something's going south down there, then Eli will do the podcast. And it might be fun for us we might both do one, just do them at different times and see. You can let us know which one you like best. If you like his better, you won't hurt my feelings. Then I'll just watch the podcast and come up with random questions. So.
Did you come up with a random question last time I did a podcast?
I might have, but I forget what it was.
No.
My wife made brownies, so I'll make brownies and watch him.
We also do have one big announcement. We got an author.
This is I've been piddling with the idea for the last couple of years of writing a book. I had Leah in here. She runs the office while I'm gone. She got on Word and sort of structured it with chapters and stuff where I can start doing a little more formal writing. And then my sister-in-law for Christmas gave me a journal that I've been wanting, a leather one. It's pretty cool. So I've started writing in that. My goal is to have it done by October. I don't think I don't know that it would be ready. But if it were,
announce that it's going to come out.
Yeah, but I think it would be something like that. There's Coffee Con. Kevin Sinnott. He's written a couple of coffee books. He does Coffee Con, and he invited us to come up and speak. And this last year in October, and so we talked to him about our book, and he's also working on a book, but he said that if we wanted to debut it in October, then we could do that in Chicago next year. But he also is going to do a Coffee Con, I think New York, but I might be wrong. So that would probably be in January or February of 2025.
24?
Yeah, 2025.
Okay, so.
Yeah, if I wrote a book between now and next month, I don't think anybody'd read it. But so that's sort of my goal, a realistic goal, is we're thinking that January or whenever he does his New York one, we would try to,
or maybe in Chicago,
something like that. Yeah, if I had somebody that could help me do a lot of it, I could probably get it done by then, because I've got tons of notes. I need to put it together and make sure the commas are in the right place. But it would be a small miracle if I could do a book in 10 months. But with some of the publishing companies that we've looked at, it's a digital world. They can print them pretty quick. They just need them days, really, from the finished manuscript. They can print, have some books printed, because things like that happen pretty quick.
Yeah. So I think we were just going to do a farm update.
Yeah, we'll do something like a farm update. But, I do want to say, anybody that's ever visited the farm, the back part of the book, I'm going to give everybody a page or two that came to visit the farm. And so Ben and Brian, I've asked Brian, I haven't asked Ben yet. Connie and Jose, they're both writing a page. I'm going to get, but if you've ever visited the farm, which that's quite a few people, we're going to let everybody write a page in the book of what their experience was on the farm. So if you haven't been to the farm yet, get it in gear. We need to have you out there. We've got some space in middle of February. There's a week opening there. And I think that's about it for harvest. But then June and July, Eli and I will be there for a couple of weeks. I think 3.5 weeks straight. We're going to be there June and July. It's according to how much of his summer break he wants to give up. But he'll be heading towards 14 then, so he'll be probably ready to fly by himself, I bet. So I might have to, if he cuts his trip short, I'll just send him home on the jet plane. But yeah, the farm update, and I haven't had any questions, or if I have had them, I didn't see them. So we've been pretty busy this week, so I haven't exactly kept up with my questions. But the farm update is normally this time of year, normally we go up on about the 8th to the 10th, because normally they're picking coffee in December. And I looked at last year's papers and it was 300 to 500. I was just using my regular guys that work on the farm, and they were picking 300, 500. The biggest day last year, they picked 700 pounds of coffee.
In one day.
In one day. For about a 10 to 12 day period. This year, last week is the only one I did the numbers on, but last week they were picking probably an average of 6,000 pounds a day. So it's a crazy early year. So I'm getting down there as quick as I can. I was going to look up, because in that 2-week period, Anna said that we picked. Well, I don't see it now. 29,000 pounds during that 2 week
in
period.
1 week or in two.
Yeah, in that one picking, 29,000 pounds. That's a lot. That's quite a bit. 29,700 pounds. So I'm going to do some math. Somebody waving at you?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, 29.7. We do the math constantly to try to figure some of these things out. So it sounds a lot. 29,000 pounds of coffee will actually make 3,600 pounds of roasted coffee.
Still a lot of coffee.
Still a lot of coffee. And it's just, that's why I'm sort of a nervous wreck right now, because I'm normally there during this time. And normally when you're picking that much coffee a day, I would run, the machine that I run is a lot more complicated. But my machine would run that in about an hour and 15 minutes. The machine that they're running 6.5 hours a day just pulping the coffee, because it's a smaller machine. And it's the one that right now I don't have anybody that knows how to run the bigger one. And so that's been something we've been working on, is training them a little bit on it. But just little things like last year they were running that small machine, and I'm not trying to beat up on anybody, but both bearings burn up within a day of each other. And we pulled the bearing and it's just dry. And so I'm like, have you not been greasing it? And he's like, no, you had the grease gun locked up in the shed. And so because I didn't bring it to him, he just quit greasing it. So he'd been running it for like 2 weeks and never greased it. And so the bearings burn up. Here in the States, that wouldn't be a big problem. In Honduras, we had to get the machine, load it in a truck, and take it to the maestro, they call him. And he took the machine apart, and then I had to drive to town and get the parts and bring them back. So it was a 6-hour process of changing 2 bearings. And it was all for nothing, And so it's a big, big pain in the butt. Just luckily it happened the last day of picking for that section for that time. And so it wasn't the end of the world. And we usually make things work out the best we can, but it was something that happened needless, versus this other machine that we have. You grease it every day. It's a high speed depulper. So it's rolling, 5,000 pounds an hour. That's quite a bit of coffee. If a rock the size of the end of your finger were to go through it, which they do put rocks in there, oranges,
bananas
are sort of fun to watch, because they'll actually eventually pass through the machine. And once that banana hits, it just shoots the banana everywhere. So yeah, and it doesn't hurt anything.
The oranges though?
Oranges are so big, they just bounce and bounce and bounce. And then finally, you sort of time it. And when it bounces up, you grab it because you don't want to put your fingers in that machine.
Oh, yeah.
But the rock, you're talking a minimum of being down at least 2 days, and $400+ is what it would cost to get it all going. So it's it's a huge thing. And there we found some bags. Some of the kids think that it's funny, I guess, to throw some rocks in there. But we've had some bags where we find a couple rocks, and then we'll send that guy home. He's never going to come back. But if you were to visit the farm, that's the time to visit, is during harvest. 16, 18-hour days, very little sleep. The weather is pretty bad the majority of the time, and you're moving constantly. I get about a 1 hour window in the middle of the day to where I can sit and sort of not do a whole lot. So that's when I would get a meal and just sort of sit down. And then I try to go over all the things that I forgot to do that day and try to coordinate a few things. But I'm pulling up the cameras right now to sort of see what the weather is, just curious. But late December, January is our winter. Like right now, it's a little bit foggy outside, but it's not too bad. Looks like they've got coffee on the patio. And but we take our coffee to a place called Llano. Is the most unusual place that I've ever been. Not really. It's just very unusual. I'm in some strange places, but it's 8 hours as the crow flies, as they say. But it takes about, if you're loaded, you can get there in 45 minutes. You drive slower when you're unloaded because those big trucks just bounce like crazy. So it's a minimum 45-minute drive to get there, and you cover 8 miles. And it's really low. You go down about 2,500 feet while in that 8-mile drive, but it's always warm there, or it's always warmer than what it is where we're at. So we haul our coffee out to that little farm we've got rented, and then we have Pedro staying. So right now Pedro is staying. Did somebody ask a question, or was that you?
No.
Okay. Pedro just lives out there from now till probably the first week of March. He'll be out there. So he'll send me a text, because I go out at least once a day, and he'll send me a text saying that, pick him up, a bag of, uncooked rice, beans, corn, just different staple foods. He loves sardines, so I bring him sardines.
You love sardines?
Yeah, because that's sort of a delicacy. Really loves Lipton cup of soup. The lackeys or whatever they're called.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those are fun. But he likes those, and so we'll bring him some of those and bring him a Pepsi. He sleeps in his little hammock and enjoys it out there. We gave him that job because he had a really bad hernia, and with socialized medicine, they wouldn't work on it until it got worse. So for 2 years, we've tried to make up the easiest jobs possible, because he's a really good picker. So we're having to up his pay this year because he could be picking. And instead of picking, he's helping us guard. And he's a really good guard, takes really good care of the coffee. But like anybody else, it was a learning curve. He's ruined a little coffee because he didn't know some of the questions to ask. But Anna's been training him on how to run the moisture tester. Bill's on, so that's trouble. Oh yeah, this will be the last podcast in 2023.
Is it though?
It is. I did Taekwondo and we did some Jiu-Jitsu tonight, but God, I shouldn't say it online. Let's just say I don't drink coffee the days I do Taekwondo and martial arts. So this morning at 6, I had like a small cup of coffee. And so now Taekwondo and all is over, then I'll drink me some coffee. And then tomorrow morning I'll have a little bit, because we have we have a couple of classes tomorrow night. Taekwondo, our niece. But and then Friday, Eli and I are doing a quick road trip, 36-hour trip. We're going to be driving 21 hours of that 36. We're going to go to our place in Tennessee. I've still got my old office building there. We're going to go there and just sort of check on things, pick out a few things and bring back with us. That's where we've been storing all our stuff. But I'm leaving on Tuesday. So Tuesday afternoon, I'll be, hopefully, God willing, I'll be in at the farm by 5 o'clock. I've got my driver, which is Anna's husband's, going to pick me up.
Oh.
Yeah, he drives really slow. And so he'll.
At least he's not like the preacher.
The preacher drives incredibly fast. I love you to death, Joe Mar, but oh my gosh, you drive fast. And so I will never drive with him again. I still love you, Joe Mar, but I'm never going to ride in your car again. But, he's not there, is he? What is it?
Bill asked a question. Very well.
Oh, coming through Colombia? No, not this time. We just go, we fly over Belize and from Houston and then straight into Honduras. I guess we may ease over part of Guatemala or something. But no, I had a chance to go to Colombia one time, but I didn't do it. I wish I had it. But I'll be there. They finished picking coffee yesterday afternoon. And so Anna came up with a total, Bill might not have seen it, 29,700 pounds from this last picking. And I think I said 2,300. That would work out to be
3,000.
About 3,000 pounds roasted is how much that would make. Or 3,600 pounds roasted, I think.
Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, no, we go through we go into Joplin. We go into Joplin and then Springfield, then Sikeston, Missouri, and then we go straight south towards Memphis, and we cross the river in Missouri at Dyersburg, Tennessee, and that's my office is right by there. But I used to go through Columbia. I forgot about Columbia. Bill lives near Columbia.
Yeah, I thought so, because I thought he meant the church.
Because you live in Mobley, I think is what it is, if I remember. But no, I definitely need to head that way sooner rather than later. But
We could go through it.
Hopefully we got to go. We're hoping to deliver some coffee in Oklahoma. So more than likely we're going to go to Oklahoma and then go into Arkansas, and then we'll pass into Memphis, Tennessee, and then drive over to the office from there.
Are we?
Now, Nashville would be like another probably 2.5 hours maybe from where we're going to be at. You just keep going east into Nashville on I-40. But no, I had I'm from Alamo, Tennessee. And so my office is still there. And when we moved to Honduras some 9 years ago, we stored all of our stuff in my office. And so it's still there. So I'm going to pick up.
You mean the bank?
Yeah, at the bank building. Yeah. My dad, about the year before he passed, he bought the old bank building and remodeled it. And then when he passed, I took over his business, and I ran my shooting range and shooting school out of that office building for a couple of years until we just got a wild hair and moved to Honduras. So, and Bill, earlier I was talking about my book. So you need to get on down to the farm so you can write out. Everybody that comes to the farm is going to get to write a page in the book, or you're going to have to write a page in the book. So you need to get down there. And you can tell your daughter that maybe next week Eli will be doing the podcast by himself. And so, and let me know, you guys let me know. There's a couple of you watching. If Tuesday night might be a better night to do the podcast, because we're going to be 3 months. Eli is going to be with me until March the 13th.
We could just
we could start doing it on a different night, because we didn't do it Tuesday or Thursday because we had martial arts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
And so
we can just once you get to the farm, set up like 6 or 7 o'clock.
Well, change it from Wednesday because a lot of the guys are at church. That's why we did it so late on Wednesday.
Yeah, so let's just do it a little early on Tuesday. You do it from the back porch.
Yeah, we'll do something like that. Because the back porch one's my favorite one.
I'll just do it from out here.
Yeah, and Eli is going to be about 12 days behind me. No, 2 weeks. I leave on the 2nd and he leaves on the 16th. But then Eli is going to be there with me after everybody else leaves. Mom leaves last February the 28th. And so we're definitely going to have a podcast on February the 28th because we're going to have a blowout party. We have $100 for a rice, bean, tortilla, and fireworks party that we're going to be doing. And so, hey, Becca, I sent you guys 2 packages. I had to split it up because I had to go get some the Marciesa I didn't have in stock. So I've got that coming to you today. And I think I mailed the other one yesterday or the day before. Maybe it was yesterday.
Hey, I had a question.
No, but I forgot to do that. I'm going to write it down right now, though. No, because I was going to order a couple of them. I was going to send back one. I ordered 2 new sealers. I didn't like one of them, so I was going to send it back and spend the money on that. And I forgot. I forgot to
send it back.
I forgot to send it back. So, yeah, I need to order that.
So as you can see, we don't have a script. Those just happened to be in front of us. It's a random piece of paper.
It works out pretty good if I'm not too organized, I think. And so, but I'm hoping to get there. They finished picking coffee yesterday. Anna said everything was pretty green. And so we're going to wait until the 15th will be the next one. 15th will be the next time we start picking. I think that's right. Generally, we wait 2 weeks between pickings. And so it'll take probably between now and the 10th of January to get everything dried, just according to what the weather is. So I'm going to look at dates. But yeah, it'll be somewhere around, the 8th would be the earliest that we would start picking. But I'm hoping that it goes until the 15th. Yeah, the 15th is my ideal date to start picking. And that will be where they're picking, hopefully, anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000 pounds a day. And then a question that somebody asked when I mentioned that number, it is basically 8.25 pounds of coffee in the cherry will make 1 pound of roasted coffee. Those are just rough numbers. So it's pretty close though, but your Mario Hipes are really big beans. So those numbers are off, and your Catuí, your Bourbons, your Marciesa are smaller beans. And so, but a rough number is 8.25 pounds of coffee in the cherry to make 1 pound of roasted coffee. So when I say we pick 29,700 pounds of coffee, that's not $250,000 worth of coffee. That's more like $4,500 worth of coffee. So, and I don't even want to add up what it costs to pick it. We're having to pay crazy amounts of money to pick it right now. So the pickers are gone. They're actually probably closer to me now than they were a couple months. They're probably, a lot of them are coming to the States, is what the funny joke was supposed to be.
Didn't really
and
work
we're
out well.
struggling to find workers, and so we've had to up the pay quite a bit from what we used to pay. Well, you need to come to Honduras for your birthday, Becca. That'd be a good birthday present. You can leave the old man at home. You and my wife can go shopping at the mall, a market, and y'all just have a big time.
Yeah.
Eli and I are in charge of taking people out to eat. That's what we do best.
Specialty.
Yep, that is our specialty. But when groups come, I think I've got a group from Tennessee and I got a group from Oregon coming in July.
Nice.
And Oregon group, the guys have already been there once on like an investigation trip or something, and those guys love to eat.
Which guy? The ones with you and Jonathan the one time?
Yeah. And those guys love to eat. We hit the open market, and man, they went crazy buying vegetables and So we had some great home cooking, and then,
there's some like weird vegetables and fruits too.
yeah,
that they
there
sell.
are some crazy stuff down there that I've never seen before. But then we did that in the day, and then at night we hit a different restaurant every night, and I love doing that because
That is fun.
if I go to a restaurant by myself, it's hard to spend $20. It would be really hard to do, even with dessert and a drink, and yeah, it's the food there is just really like I think the tacos are $1 each, and it's just really
Nice.
affordable. But I enjoy going out to eat if I have somebody, and I love it when people visit the farm, when new people visit.
That
So,
really just gives us an excuse to go out and eat.
it does. Then we have to, but we enjoy doing that. I enjoy showing new people everything about the farm. But for people like Becca and Bill and those are all two names I see up there now. You guys roast coffee. It would be that's just like a coffee roaster, a coffee lover's dream is to
Get to see the entire process. I mean,
and,
we might even let you pick some coffee.
oh yeah, like
Deep
Ben
up some
and Brian,
coffee.
they came out for 8 or 9 days, and it was pretty sad how it ended up. But they picked they had tried our coffee before, and they were buying a lot of Anna's coffee, but he absolutely loved the yellow bourbon that we have on the farm. And I don't generally sell that online. And so they said, can we pick some of that and take it back with us? And I said, yeah. So they went out there. I mean, they picked a lot of coffee. It turned out to be about 55 to 60 pounds of green coffee.
That's
is what
pretty
they
good.
picked. So yeah, they did really good. But it's not going to have time to dry right. A lot of times we'll fast dry coffee, but you wouldn't want to fast dry a coffee like that. And so I said, well, I'll dry it, I'll ship it in, and then I'll send it to you. So that's what we did. Except for there's a new policy with the health department, post office. If a package breaks open now, they don't patch it and send it the rest of the way. They just throw it away. And
Wait,
so
seriously?
there was a 50-pound box of coffee of yellow bourbon that Ben and Brian had picked on the farm, and the post office just threw it away. And so it was sick then. And then I had to send them another 50 pounds, which that year we only produced like 120, 130 pounds of coffee. So we didn't have hardly anything to sell. And so, yeah, I hate that because even the insurance, it was insured for something, but nothing compared to what that coffee, and it cupped 89.25. That was the best coffee we've ever had on the farm.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That was the best coffee?
Yeah, that's the best cupping score. It was even better than, it probably wouldn't have been better than our Mario Hipe this year that we
That
won
one.
4th place. In case I haven't mentioned it recently, we won 4th place in the Marcala Coffee Fest.
In case he hasn't mentioned it enough.
And 1st place sold for about $45 a pound. Just in case.
And
I
how
haven't
much did
mentioned
Laurie
that.
sell it for?
22.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I wouldn't sell it though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I gave some to Colton. I gave him like 8 pounds of it the other day. We were on his podcast. And so I gave him some to try.
And hey, are you ever going to enter like wasn't there like a roasting side of that?
There is. I didn't realize that, but there's also a roasted side.
Would you ever enter it?
I might. It would be a lot of trouble for us because in Honduras, I don't know if you can see, we have a little Hucky. I don't think you can really see it back there. It's behind my big head. But we have a Hucky 500T. I have the same one here as I do in the lab in Honduras. So if we entered it, we would have to roast I think you have to have 5 pounds. So I'd take 8 or 9 roasts to get that much. And I tend to, it's got a higher capacity, but I tend to roast 12 ounces in, get 10.3 out. That's my target. And so if I were to roast, the max is 16 on that machine. So if I were to roast, I don't think I'd go up to the 16. I think I would stay where I was more comfortable. And
No, probably it's more like big roasters they're using in that competition.
yeah, we've started putting more and more shipping tape on our boxes. And so Becca was saying they had one that was ripped. It's just crazy. What is your roast capacity? Bill, you've got the 800. And I don't know, Becca, what do you guys roast on? But I love my little Hucky. It was the hardest thing to learn to roast on, but I enjoy it now. But I don't think I've roasted on this one in a couple of months. I'm familiar enough with my coffee that I'll put the Bourbon and the Arequipe. I'll put them now in the big roaster. Where used to, I wouldn't. I was afraid that I'd mess it up and accidentally, my minimum batch is 15 on the big machine. And so if I would roast, somebody ordered 2 or 3 pounds of the Bourbon, it'd take me 2 hours to roast it. But I would rather do that than take a chance. So 300 grams, that's like 12 ounces, isn't it? 11 minutes total roast. Yeah. I've upped when I up my size to 25 pounds, I'm more at like 14 minutes. But if I keep it at 20 pounds, 21 pounds, I'm still at 11 and a half. Yeah, ours holds 1 pound too.
Yeah, well, I think I'm gonna. That's okay.
You gonna leave us?
Yes.
All right. He's got some people want to try for 8 hours sleep.
Yes, I do.
Right. All right. Well, I think we might still watch a movie if we get in a decent hour.
Yeah.
We don't have anything to do tomorrow. Thanks, buddy, for coming out.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Have a good one. See you guys.
But I'm excited about going to the farm, and we've got some people coming out a couple different times this year during harvest. That's going to be fun. We're hoping next year we're going to revamp some of the equipment. I'm trying to get a laser selector. Currently, we're doing everything by hand, and I enjoy doing it that way. I personally don't do it by hand, but I think you get the best quality. But the laser selector will kick out a lot of different beans, and it'll go a lot faster. And we need another revenue stream on the farm because I'm wanting to open up that dental clinic probably in May through June, sometime that time frame. Yeah, Bill's looking at a bigger roaster. It is nice to have a little bit bigger one, especially Bill's working on some specific blends and stuff. I have the advantage of having, right now we're doing enough business now where these buckets that you see right there, they all hold about 18 pounds. So according to what the variety is, I roast according to that. So, and I actually have some 33-gallon garbage cans that we keep the Lempira washed and the Lempira honey. I do that much. So tomorrow, I'm servicing the equipment now, but tomorrow I'll roast. So I'll roast 150 pounds of washed and 150 pounds of honey. But then I'll do a 20-pound batch of the natural because we don't sell that much, but we do use it in 2 blends. So we're at the point now where I keep the Bourbon, Perinema, Marciesa. I keep all those, at least 15 pounds of them. So when I have some downtime, I'll play with a few blends. And, I've got that advantage where I have some enough coffee that I can really play. And I think we have 3 or 4 blends right now. We have the Julius Joe, Eli Mountain, Espresso Blend, Breakfast Blend. So at least 4 blends. That's all I can think of right now. And then I standardly keep a Canal Wash Lempira Dark and a Red Honey Lempira Dark. Those are my only 2 darks. Oh, and we do an Eli Mountain Dark. We do that also. But and then we have Caramel Rum Crunch, Rum Popo, Jamaica Me Crazy, Salted Caramel, Southern Pecan, and I don't know if I said Rum Popo or not, but we keep those in flavored coffees. We sell enough of those that I keep, pretty much full buckets of those. So if I ever mess up a roast, even if it's good, I messed up a Bourbon one day and had to flavor it. it was just really dark. And then as soon as it cooled down, I tasted it, and I'm like, it's just ruined everything in it. So I just flavored it, because Jamaica Me Crazy is going to taste like Jamaica Me Crazy no matter what roast level it is. I really don't think that the roast level or the quality of the coffee affect it once you flavor it. I think, and Bill, I don't know if Becca, if you guys do any flavoring, but Bill has been playing with some flavors. I don't know what all he's got right now, but and I've ordered a few other things. I've got caramel mint, candy apple or something like that, French vanilla, amaretta or something like that. And then I've got a milk chocolate. I've got a hazelnut. Those are some that I'm playing with for a blend. I do a holiday blend once a year, and so I use some of them. And then in the wintertime, I do a mocha mint. Those sell okay during the holidays. But my problem this year is the lowest cupping coffee we had this year was an 82.5. And so even a coffee like that, that's still, specialty grade coffee. Honestly, I don't really drink the flavored ones. Oh, pumpkin spice. Good gravy. If you didn't have pumpkin spice, they'd be protesting out in front of your building. I don't know how many hundreds of pounds. I think we hit 500 pounds this year of pumpkin spice, how much we sold. Somebody's asking a question, but I'll get to you offline. Doesn't have anything to do with coffee. But so it's just the market bears that, when I first started asking questions on that big roasters forum, there's like 20-something thousand people on it. I got a lot of really snotty remarks because they're like, well, we don't do that, and we don't do coffee less than 86 points or 88 points or something like that. I don't have that much money, and I've got regular old people that buy our coffee. I've got a lot of people that want something, really specific, and they're great customers. But the majority of the people that buy my roasted coffee are regular old people that want a good coffee that they can depend on, to be clean, not have the chemicals in it, to be ethically sourced. They like watching us take care of the workers and things like that. That's what they want. That's what they care about. And so I think even my coffee's bad every once in a while, they'll keep ordering. I had a guy leave me an awful review the other day, but he says, I like what they do, and I'm going to give them a try in another year and see if they can get it together. And I'm like, well, it'd have been great if you'd have sent me that a message before you slammed me on social media. But it's awesome that he said he was going to give me a chance to get my act together or whatever over the next year, and maybe make it a little bit better. Some of you guys just hit in the comments, who you are, where you're from, and and if anybody has a website or something like that, you guys, I'll give you a shout out for sure. But yeah, any way we can ever help any of you guys, let me know. That's sort of the goal. We like to grow with. Our goal has always been that we wanted to grow with our customers. So that's what we've been trying, and we're doing that somewhat with Bill. Bill, I'm trying to help any way I can. I've got advice. I don't know whether it's good or bad. Yeah, just what Becca said. I don't know if you guys can see the comments or not, but yeah, definitely if I was in Wichita or Kansas City, it would definitely be a game changer for me. I would definitely be if I were in Kansas City, I'd probably, first thing I do is take a couple extra roasting classes. And I would put more electronics on my machine. I've got an artisan machine. And I think that probably limits me somewhat. What I really need to do is none of my workers, I've got 3 part-time people that they're brothers and sisters. And so they're going to rotate in and just do whatever needs to be done to help us through our our time in Honduras. But other than Julia and I, nobody in the family drinks coffee. Jonathan Roast, my son, he's 18, but he's got two basic profiles he works with, and he does Lempira honey and Lempira washed. He started doing some natural, because those are the three components I need to make a lot of our coffees with. I think that covers that'll cover 6 coffees, including the blends. And so, as long as he can roast those 3 well and consistent, when we run out of the Bourbon, Perinema, Marciesa, we'll just be out till I can get back, because those are more particular on the coffee. If you get the Perinema washed very dark at all, you lose a lot. But the next thing we're looking for is to try to find somebody that's more of a coffee nut. And I thought I found one, and I hired her part-time, and she didn't show up the first day. And so, that's sort of disappointing after a couple of meetings with her and a lot of hours talking and going over stuff. And then she didn't show up the first day. So it's been difficult. Next year, our goal is to move to the other side of our property here. Here we're on the country road, but if you go to the other side, we're on Highway 81. And there's quite a bit of traffic. It links 2 pretty decent sized little towns together, or cities together. So it's got a lot of traffic on it. Where we have maybe 50 cars a day go by, and we maybe average about 2 customers a day that walk through the door. The majority of our stuff's online. We're talking about going to that main road. And when we do that, it's going to up our game. And I think to the point where we'll probably go ahead and put in a minimalist kind of a coffee shop. I don't think I'll have the money to buy like a big espresso machine. I've got my little Italian job over here, but it's just a single boiler, single head. It's not going to be for super, commercial stuff. So we're going to find the good coffees that we want. Oh, yeah, Bill's really old. He has to go to bed early. So, but we'll see. Yeah, Becca's in a whole other time zone, man. But thanks for jumping on, Bill. Tell your daughter next week Eli's going to do the show, so she's going to have to come up with some kids questions for him, some tough kids questions. But I sort of lost my train of thought. But the long and the short of it, this is the last one of the year, I think. Unless we do something, we might do a New Year's Eve one, but I'm not sure yet. It's according to what's going on. But we're sort of outgrowing the building we're in. This, where I'm sitting right now, is a 70-year-old garage. It was a detached garage. The house we live in is 123 years old this year. So this is the 70-year-old detached garage. So it never had doors put on it. So I had 2 walk-through doors and 2 drive-through doors on the building. So we blocked up the walk-through doors and blocked up the drive-through doors, and then I installed 1 walk-through door. But I think the building's 24 by 28. And so we insulated it, sheetrocked it, did all the health department stuff, and so got it all up to code. But it is pretty small when you start thinking about everything that we have in here. It's when we do a fundraiser or get a big order in, we're just walking all over each other. So everybody has their little station. We're going to try to bring in another container of coffee, somebody else's coffee next year. So that's going to be a sort of I've got some people that have talked to me about doing some investing in coffee. So I'm going to get a couple people together, and we're going to go in and buy a container next year, ship it in, along with my container of coffee. It's going to give us the option to have a lot of different varieties next year that we didn't have this year. But everybody's going to have to kick in, a big chunk of money, because we're talking about buying, 25, 30,000 pounds of coffee, probably 20 or 25,000 pounds of coffee. So it's going to be $70,000 to $80,000 investment. And then once we bring it here, it'll take 6 months to sell it all, I would imagine. like I brought in 200 bags, and we've had a pretty good year. So right now, I think I did an inventory today. I've got 95 full bags in the container. And so we've had 2 roasters that haven't reordered since the container got here in July. So, or maybe even 3. So there'll be another 20, 25 bags that go out over the next 3 months. So the goal for us is to sell more roasted coffee, less green coffee, so that our profit is going to be where we can run the farm and do all the things we want to do. My passion is opening up that dental clinic. So that's something that's driving me to make a little bit more money, and do something I probably have said that I wouldn't do, and that's buy coffee from a mill and resell it. We haven't had any luck finding farmers that want to go in together and do that. So my only option is we're just going to buy coffee straight from the mill. My buddy Herbert's going to help us, and we will get a really good price on the coffee because I can buy it from him cheaper than I can grow it, because he buys it at a loss from the farmers. So we'll be bringing in probably, I'm hoping for 10. My goal is 10 different varieties other than what I have. So that might be attainable, maybe not. I'm not sure, but that's our goal, is to find. It'll all be Honduran coffee. It will be from a couple regions because he has a family member that owns a mill in Copan. So, and I know some people in the Danlí, I think it's El Precio region. So we're going to have 3 different regions of coffee of Honduras that we're going to get to pick a few things from, and then we'll process it at our place. And so we just do the best we can with the quality side of it, and then we'll have it cupped and see. The beauty of everything we buy from Herbert is it will be. We'll actually have to buy the cherry from El Paricio, and they'll bring it to us that day, and then we'll process it during the night to keep that quality where we want it. The other 2, they have processing facilities, and it'll be processed well. It'll be from known customers that they have, that they've got previous cuppings on. And so we're going to buy that coffee and hopefully be able to, like this year, I think Bill bought 150, 180 pounds of coffee. And for the size machine he has, that's a lot of coffee. But the goal would be, as Bill grows, as Becca grows, as some of these other guys grow that have these 1 pound machines, Bill's does 12 ounces. As they grow, we'll grow. Because I've been looking for, Bill's only 5 hours for me. So I've been looking for a good grinder for Bill. He found one for where he wants to be. He's wanting to move up to a 5 or 6 pound roaster. He's going to have 2 grinders. And you just have to have a commercial grinder. Like right here, I don't know if you can see it, but if you can see that one wall, those are all the stickers. So each one of the coffees we sell, we have stickers for. So there's probably about 22 different options of coffee. So when it comes in, we have our bags stamped. I stamp them by hand, and then we put a sticker on according to what variety. So we basically have 4 different bags. And then I have a bank of 7 different grinders. So going from your left to right, it's a bun grinder. That's only for flavored coffee. The next one is also a bun grinder. They're a pair. It's for dark roast. The third one is a GH3 bun, and it is just for decaf. And then it's these Malcotones or something. I can't think of the name. It's a German grinder. They're both GH2s, but they're both for specialty coffee, because unflavored specialty coffee, medium roast. So that's all we use those for. And the other 2 are EK43s. Those are awesome grinders. They'll grind 30 pounds in 9 minutes to a perfect grind of each other. You can put them side by side. But the gold one is for specialty grade coffee, and the black one is for flavored coffee. Because when we do fundraisers, more than half the coffee on fundraisers are flavored. I think just the order we got on the last fundraiser was 260 pounds of Jamaica Me Crazy, and it's 100 and something pounds of caramel rum crunch. And then it was mocha mint was on there. And so there's a lot during the holidays they'll order, that way. The Pumpkin Ranch here, I think they sold 250 12-ounce bags of just of pumpkin spice. So you definitely need to do, as you grow, you need to be watching the grinders. And I don't buy any of them new. I buy them all, as we go. But that's just something that, and I've got a big customer that sells 120, 130,000 pounds of roasted coffee. He buys 25 to 30 bags of my coffee every year. And so I get to buy some of his used stuff. I buy his old buckets, grinders, just a lot of different things. And I trade coffee when I do that. I very seldom buy things outright. The 2 EK43s I bought, and they were bought as non-working grinders, and I just got them going. I also have a grinder that was made in 1940 I've been working on. And so I'm going to have it, if I get me a new place built, then I'm going to do that. Becca and them are up in California, and so their regulations are a lot stricter than ours are. So when for me to change locations, it's not really going to be that big of an undertaking to get your health department, all that. They really work with us out here and really easy going. So far they have been. We've been doing roasted coffee for a little over 3 years, and we've never had any trouble with the health department. We've gotten 100 both times on our inspection, or A+, I think is what they rate it. So we've been blessed with that. But we're actually going to take 3 40-foot shipping containers, put them together, and build a big front porch on the front of one, and build a really high-pitched roof. And then we're going to make an upstairs to where we can store bags, boxes, things like that, extra grinders. I'm always looking for extra grinders. This is the first time in a couple of years that I haven't had an extra one, sitting and waiting for the day that one of these is down. Because right now I've got 2 of those 7 grinders I'm not using because they need to be clean, recalibrated. So then I can just easily pull them offline. I still got grinders to keep going. But we did a big fundraiser for an elementary school, and they ordered 854 pounds of coffee. The majority of that was probably 80% of it was ground. And then they ordered 3,000 and something K-cups. Of course, all of that's ground. And so it took me 10 days to fill that order. Between the time I'm roasting, grinding, packing, and all that stuff. So that was a huge, huge order. I missed a lot of sleep. It doesn't sound like I'm catching up on it. But the first of the year, we're going to be a lot more organized. I really am begging you guys to send me in anything that you think that we need to bring up as subjects, even if it's touchy subjects. Pretty much the one subject I don't talk about, or the 2 probably, is kids working in the farm. But I'm willing to talk about that somewhat. And I don't talk about pay because pay is just a very controversial subject. And I got beat up one time from a guy who owns a family farm in Hawaii. And he said, well, the problem is people like you won't pay $15 an hour so they can have a fair wage. And so it's very complicated, how the pay goes and things like that. Instead of paying more, we do more. And I'm not beating up on anybody, but if you've never had anybody in the history of your family that's ever had any money, then you've got very little financial advice. You've got very few people you can look to for financial advice. And we do pay a lot more than a lot of the farms, but we've had to go through a lot of things. I have this little class I do. It's called Wants and Needs. There's a lot of things, and even grown-ups, a lot of times we get confused and we get in financial debt because there's things we confuse our wants and our needs. I don't need a jet ski and a boat and a 4-wheeler and, but I might want those things. But they would all like to have a motorcycle and a TV and a big stereo in their house and all these things. But what they really need is, because I'm in the coffee business and they are associated with me, they have an opportunity to grow coffee and export it to the United States. So what they need is to buy land. And if we can get them to buy land, then every year I have at least 2,000 to 4,000 plants that I don't use. And so this year, I think we planted 25,000 plants. So we gave away about 6,000 plants. And so if they can find the land, my bank that I have on the farm can help them finance it. And then we can give them plants. And then I buy fertilizer in bulk so I can get them a better price on their fertilizer, and I can sell it to them on credit with no interest. So, those are things that we learned real quick. And let's say I pay the guy 50% more than he's ever made in his life, but he needs a $1,500 roof on his house. Still going to take him a year or two to save up that much money. And so rather than worry about the pay thing, let's just go put a roof on the guy's house. And then problem solved. And so that's where you guys come in, because I've got a group coming up in July and they're going to do 2 roofs. I haven't found the roof yet, but I promise you I can find a roof that leaks in Honduras. And so when they come up, they wanted to do something, some service projects. And so that's what they're going to do. We'll do Vacation Bible School at whatever piece of land we're doing a roof on. The guys are going to do a roof. The girls are going to do Vacation Bible School, and the older women are going to make Kool-Aid and peanut butter sandwiches. I'll have a couple of preachers come down and they'll sing. One of them will separate the group and start singing. The other will be ministering to the adults. And there'll be kids VBS, and they'll have fun games. We have tons of games and things like that. So those are what I've learned from being there. This year is the June of 2023 marked 25 years that I've been doing mission trips in Honduras. Didn't realize it'd been that long until I started thinking about it one day. But so we don't talk a lot about how much they actually make per day, because if you look at Santos, Bajío, Ana, what they make per day is very small portion of what they make per year. They just have to keep coming to work from loyalty to me. But already, just with the coffee Ana grows and sells in the States, it would not affect her life at all, whether she worked for me or not. That part of the pay. But she also makes $800 a year, just her 15% commission on the coffee of my coffee that she sells in Honduras. She gets 15% of all that. Then she makes, this year she had 16 bags of coffee, which is roughly a little shy of 2,400 pounds of green coffee. So she's looking at clearing probably $10,000 this year, which normally a woman in the country would make around $800 to $900 a year. That's what they would make. So yeah, Anna's life has changed quite a bit. Her husband's going to be driving to pick me up at the airport in a truck that he bought and paid for. It is paid for. It's not new, but it's nice. And so he comes and he's going to come get me at the airport in his little Toyota. He's as proud of that Toyota as you are any of your new cars that you guys are driving right now. But we feel like, the idea was to make lives better. And the whole idea of Legacy Farms Coffee was we're going to leave a legacy behind when I'm gone. And the main idea is not just to teach the man, to give the man a fish, to teach the man to fish and teach him where to buy the license and the best ponds to go to. And Ana knows who buys their coffee, and she knows the exporting process. She's met the people that I have met that help us move the coffee. She is their liaison. So if I died tomorrow, she can continue exporting coffee. She can continue selling to her customers. And that's somebody that Becca needs to get with, is Ana, and have her start selling some of Anna's coffee. That's we need to get some of those samples over to you, Becca, and let you try some of her coffee and get you guys connected. Because I definitely want to get you to interview Ana within the next couple of weeks. I think you guys have a great time. I think there's got to be a way that we could get the Google Translator or whatever the translator is to translate what you guys are saying into English as y'all do the interview. And that would just be an amazing, amazing thing. And I'd love to do 2 of them, because if you want to start picking up some of Anna's coffee, and you'd be buying it directly from her. And I think having the woman, is definitely a plus for you, and it definitely would help Ana out. But having do a interview that you want to use, because you do some really, really good social marketing, social media stuff. I love watching your social media. And so I think you could do some pretty cool things, just for your side of the web, your website when you get a website out, but even your Instagram stuff. And I forget what I see you on Instagram or Facebook, but when your videos pop up, they're always really great videos. So I think that you could do something really amazing with an interview with Anna if we could just get it translated in English somehow. Or even if you need a translator there and we just do the whole thing in English, I've interviewed Anna before, and I just give her a list of my questions, and I give her 20 or 30 minutes to look over it and think about what her answers are going to be. And then when we get in there, it helps us, it makes her a little less nervous, because she's a pretty shy person. But I've drug her to enough meetings and drug her all over Honduras with me. And so I think that she's definitely come out of her shell quite a bit. But yeah, I can't wait to see your website. I wish you lived closer to me. I would have you over here helping me. Some of the things I struggle with. But when we started our website, we did it with Weebly. It was pretty simple and pretty basic, and I loved it. And now my wife does all the website stuff. And we're getting ready. Some of our time, she's coming up the 16th of January, and she's going to start making a lot of changes on the website. There's a couple certain groups of people that have struggled with being able to navigate the website and find out all the things. So I want to, I'm going to look over some websites in the next couple of weeks. And, this is John. I want to look over some other websites and see how they're set up and see if we can't change ours to make it a little more fluid for some of the people. Because I've got a list of people on the wall that they just gave me all their credit card information, and they just send me an email and say, order me this, this, and this. And, we're happy to do that. But it's more complicated because there's so much security on credit cards now that it's getting more and more difficult for us to do that for them. But no, definitely we're going to work on our website. I need to get more structured on how I do the podcast as well. And we've got a social media group that's going to start working with working with us. I'm going to wait and start probably mid to the end of January, because while I'm in Honduras, if it were to really take off, and I would be in a mess being down there and not having a full-time roaster here that sort of knows how to do what I do. The heirloom Perinema is online now. I thought it should be P5M or something like that. The Johnny's Java one. Yeah, there's a P. Yeah, I think there's two Perinemas on right now. If you will, send me a PM, and I'll when I'm done, and I'll let you know which ones. But there should be two of them online. I don't see my list anywhere handy. Currently on the green side, there's the I2N. I think you guys just got some of that. John, is that right? I think you ordered lot 12 and you said replace it with the Natural Ica 2. And also, John, the one that says Johnny's Java, the lot on that is J5M. I should mark that different. That is a Perinema red honey, but it says that in the description. So Johnny's Java is lot J5M. It's a red honey Perinema. And I thought there was another Perinema online. Yes, there's a lot P3M. Oh, P3M is the one that's honey, dulce de leche, and grapefruit. If it's not online, let me know, because that's one. And there's a P4M. That's the heirloom Perinema. All the Perinemas are heirloom because there's only one lot of Perinema. And so there it is an heirloom. And that means that we can trace it back 3 generations. And that's what I was told. Which one do you not see on there? Lot P4M, P3M, or J5M? Yeah, let me know tonight or in the morning, John. Send me a thing, and I'm getting ready to leave on Tuesday. I'll put you a box together tomorrow, and I'll send you some coffee, and I'll let you try those because I think the P3M. I think that's like an 88. And somebody did ask why we didn't put scores on it. It just gets very complicated for people. They don't understand that 83 is actually a good coffee, where if you made it 83 in school, that wouldn't be that great of a grade. My parents would have been proud, but I made an A one time. My dad gave me $100 bill. That was the only time that ever happened. The P3M is not on there. All right, let me look at that again and see which one says the dulce de, because it was dulce de leche and grapefruit. Yeah, that's going to be P3M. If it's not a lot of trouble, send me a PM or however you guys usually contact me, and I'll get some in the mail. And all right. And let me make a note. I'll when we get offline, I'll look up the website and see the green stuff that's on there. I was out of town a little bit last week, so if we ran low of a bag, I don't make my wife go out and drag 150 pounds. So she probably just pulled it off the website because that's what she's supposed to do, is just pull it off the website. But maybe I missed her note to me to tell me to bring in another bag because I've got plenty of Perinema. I think I've got like 7 bags of Perinema, and I know I've got 4 bags of Marciesa. Got 17 bags of natural. I don't know if y'all do much with the natural. And if the Ica 2 is something you're going to want long term, let me know, and I'll pull that offline here in the next couple of weeks so that you've got enough to last you through the year. If you ever have something, and this goes for any of you guys watching, not just Becca and John, if you guys have something that your customers are really liking, you need to let me know, and I won't let it sell out. Because the Ica 2, I'm looking at the only bag, and I've probably got 70 pounds of it. So if it's something you think you buy a couple pounds a month, we're looking at having coffee here in 6 more months. The coffee will be here. So, I'll make sure that I'll just go ahead and pull that one offline. Because I don't think the Ica 2 is online anyway, because I like it. And so I don't know that the Ica 2 is online. I may just have stickers because I think that you guys are the only ones that are buying it right now. So, and then I'll try to remember that, if the weather is good, then we'll process a little bit more of the Ica 2. The Ica 2 is a later crop. And so that's why I like it, because the later in the year, the weather turns better. This last year, we had really great weather in February. And so I dried literally a ton of natural last year versus the year before, we did 0. Just didn't do any natural. So the Ica 2 really cupped well. I think that had the mango in it. I'm not sure what cocoa and ripe fruit. Oh, the M2N, the Marciesa, is the one that had the mango in it, and it sold out like crazy. It was lot M2N, and it is Marciesa, the second picking natural. And it sold out like the first week or 2 that we had it. As a matter of fact, on one of the podcasts, I mentioned we were low, and 2 of the people said, well, I'll order some in the morning. But somebody that was watching ordered it right then and bought it all out. All right, I'll make sure that I well, we probably just, with them 160 pounds, we probably just won't put it online, and we'll work out something. And I'm fine for you just to keep replacing it with the 12 or something is fine with me. Just make a note, and I've the new guys that are working, they're pretty good at looking at the notes. They haven't made any mistakes yet. Well, guys, I've got to get up at 5 because I had the bright idea to take the machine apart today. And so I'm going to get up at 5 and try to put it back together and get it rolling. It was making a vibration the other day that sounded pretty crazy. So I haven't figured out what's making it do that yet. So I'm going to grease everything and tighten some of the chains and belts and see if we can make it roar less. But because all of a sudden it got quiet. And I noticed in the firebox that there was a bolt. So whatever bolt fell out, we're going to have to find where that came from, put it back together, and start roasting. I got to roast a couple pounds of coffee tomorrow. But I probably will do something. We're probably going to change the nights. So you guys let me know if there's a night that's better for you. I'd love to have like a lot of the small roasters, us all get on screen and just talk roasting coffee one night. So let me know if there's a night that's better for you and a time. And remind me that, when you say a time, remind me what time zone you're in. And so I've got a guy from Alaska that's wanting to be on. And I've got a young guy from, I think he's in California, that he's wanting to start a coffee trailer. So I'm going to have him on here pretty soon. And if anybody has kids, Eli is wanting to sort of start doing a kids coffee, and especially if the kids drink coffee or something like that, or if they help you roast. I know Bill's daughter helps him roast. And so she's come on a couple times. I think she's 12 or 13. And so, if you have some kids, but if you've got anybody that'd be interested in watching the podcast, shoot it to them, let them know. And we're going to try to keep doing one every week. But for the next couple of months, we might change so that it's a little bit earlier in the day, or if Saturdays or Sundays work best, just let us know. All right, Thursday or Friday. And both those are pretty easy nights for us. On the farm, it's just, you never sort of know. But with Eli being able to do the podcast now, that helps me. So if I haven't gotten back to the farm yet, a lot of times I don't get back till 10 or 11 some nights. Then Eli will just do it, and you guys can torture him with questions and try to embarrass him like I do. But anyway, thanks, guys, for being on tonight, and thanks for the questions. I always have a great time on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it too. And it'll be replayed on Instagram, Legacy Farms Coffee on Facebook, Legacy Farms Coffee 200 on YouTube. So if you have any more questions for next week, shoot them. John, get in touch with me in the morning. I get up at 5, so I think that's 7 y'all's time. God bless you guys. Have a great week, and I hope you guys have a great New Year's if we don't see you between now and then. Good night, everybody. Thanks.